Hey everybody, welcome into the New England Ski Journal Basecamp podcast, sponsored by Country Ski and Sport. I'm your host, Mike Special, with my co-host,
Keith Pearson.
What's up, man?
Not much. Pretty good run we've been on.
Yeah, really good. That was quite...
We're okay with this.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, have you ever heard of a month like that where getting snow every single day at certain mountains? In a calendar month?
I have not. It's been a while. It's been a while. But I'll tell you what. I don't get stoked about many things these days when it comes to skiing. I get stoked about good snow, of course.
Yep.
But I've been around this industry for an awful long time. And I have been frustrated through the years of us going after the same demographics and never moving the needle beyond, never going into the breakdown lane of sorts, the gray areas. The interview we just had, I am so stoked for what I heard, because you've heard me preach about YES, Youth Enrichment Services here in Boston. We've had Brian on, the director. I've spoken about it numerous times. But to see something happening elsewhere.
Just open the door and people will come in. They'll look around and you're going to get some people that enjoy it just as much as the people who have been in it for years, like yourself, who's been in it for decades. You know, and too many places are just stuck in, this is the group, we want to go after the biggest bang for our marketing buck. Branch out a little bit, and you're going to get more people in.
Well, you're going to get more people in. 87% retention rate?
Yeah,
I mean, if you were on Shark Tank and you said you had an 87% retention rate,
right, they're lining up to get in on
you'd
the
be
action.
Correct. They're lining up. And I look at this, the interview we just had with Raelene, I look at what they're doing, taking a demographic that is truly never been totally attacked by the ski industry. It's been this little, maybe we should go after it, but guess what? It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy to grow your business.
No. But
was it, I think it was Steve Wright when we had him on earlier, who said, all we've done is I've tried to steal your skier, you're trying to steal my skier. You know, and we just pass the same people back and forth. This is actually going out and trying to find a new skier and create a new avenue of skiers.
Well, in the ski boot world, in the ski world, in the business world, the pie is only so big, okay? And all you're doing is slicing, changing what piece of that pie you have until you go out and create something that nobody else is doing.
Yes. And Ski Utah is definitely doing that with the Discover Utah program, or Discover Winter program.
Correct. You know, they're doing that. I look at the Brotherhood of Skiers, which I have dealt with since maybe 1990 when I was in Boston on ComAv. And we focused on that because we knew back then that there was a whole nother demographic that we weren't working with. And since then, those people that have joined, their enjoyment of skiing, their participation in skiing has grown exponentially. And what Ski Utah is doing is something that should be parlayed into Ski Industries of America, SIA, into Ski New Hampshire, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. Each each state organization, and absolutely at the national level. Like, there's no reason not to at the national level, because the financial impact that they have on the industry is just that much greater than 20 splintered groups. But yeah, you create more people there. It like you said, creating a bigger pie, as opposed to just cutting the same slices and passing them around.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at, Raelene stated that the diversity in Salt Lake is great, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not any greater than it is here in Boston or Hartford or Providence.
Right.
Our diversity, we don't have ski areas that are 30 minutes away, but we have some pretty good local ski areas that are within an hour.
Yes. And I can't speak to which each one has or does not have in terms of programs. We did speak with Blue Hills. They do have something. I believe they work with Yes, right?
Yeah, they work with Yes. Butternut works with Yes. I just found that out.
Okay.
While I was in Utah recently. Tenny works with Yes, but those are kids.
Okay.
What they're doing here is not a kids program. This is an adult program.
And it makes perfect sense, because if the parents are doing it, who's the first group that they're going to bring in to the program?
The kids.
They're little ones to ski together and do a family activity.
100%.
Just the way we do.
Of course. But that's...
As we come up on the busiest week of the year coming up.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
It's important.
This podcast is going on President's Weekend.
Yes.
It is one busy week for everybody. And, hopefully the New England skier, the families are all skiing this week. We spoke to Pico just recently, and they have some special deals up north this week if you book ahead of time. So, the fun part about this is that here at New England Ski Journal Basecamp, we want to grow the skiing population, not just tell you where to go. We want to get people involved on all fronts to say we're all one body and we all want to ski together. So, this interview that's coming up is pretty eye-opening, and I thank Ski Utah and Raelene Davis for everything they're doing to push this forward. So that interview will be coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
From skis and snowboards to accessories, apparel, and a full spectrum of winter sports essentials, Country Ski and Sport is proud to offer one of the most diverse selections of superior quality products from the industry's most esteemed brands. Book your custom boot and ski fitting appointment online for a shopping experience tailored for your ski or snowboarding needs. Chat with our experts in store and make the most of your winter experience. If you already own equipment, don't forget to drop it off for a tune-up and get your skis or board back into shape before you hit the slopes. Visit us online at countryski.com or at our locations in Quincy, Westwood, or Hanson. Before you hit the mountain, make sure to hit Country Ski and Sport.
Discover what you've been missing when you visit Burke Mountain, the last little corner of Vermont. Located only 7 miles off Interstate 91, the slopes are closer than you think. Take advantage of their incredible midweek deals like $45 Monday through Friday lift tickets or Wicked Wednesdays, where 3 people can ski or ride for the price of 1. That's right. You and 2 of your friends can ski and ride for just $15 a piece every Wednesday, non-holiday. Incredible. To learn more, book your overnight stay at the Ski In, Ski Out Burke Mountain Hotel or purchase lift tickets. Visit skiburke.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into the Basecamp podcast. Now joining us from the great state of Utah, Raelene Davis, VP of Marketing and Operations from Ski Utah. How you doing, Raelene?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you guys?
We're excellent.
We're having a good snow year out here right now, so we're doing great.
Well, good. Could you send a little more our way? We have
Hey,
some expected tonight, about 5 to 10 inches. So, hey, it's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah.
we've had a couple years where we've had to wait until March for the good stuff. So maybe this is, cyclical.
Yeah,
Hey,
this
you
is
know what? It is what it is. But March is our snowiest month usually. So, we're okay. We're okay.
well, yeah, travel season's ahead. I know people are booked for Utah, so that's coming your way very soon. But can you give us an overview of Ski Utah and what its mission is?
Sure. Ski Utah was started in 1978 with a mission to inspire the world to ski Utah. We are a marketing association where 250 members work together to promote skiing in Utah. So all 15 resorts are part of Ski Utah, as well as the many lodging properties and ski and snowboard shops, transportation companies, etc. We work locally, nationally, internationally. Again, we're just here to bring the greatest snow on earth message to the world.
I know you do it internationally because I believe you were in New Zealand and Australia this summer.
Well, I go every May for the ski shows and for a sales mission. So that's every May. And then we go to the UK every fall. We do Germany. Yeah, so we're traveling all over the world, Mexico, South America, etc.
Wow.
That is awesome. You've been involved in this position since 1985. With the efforts of Ski Utah, what have the results been like over the last 40 years?
Well, I mean, when I started at Ski Utah, I think we had about, I don't know, just over 1.5 million skier visits, and we're up to 6-7 million now. So I think our efforts, as my kids say, they're like, "Mom, you're doing too good of a job. You're bringing too many people to Utah." But we've seen so many good things happen. We've obviously hosted the Winter Olympics in 2002. We're getting them back in 2034. So lots of really exciting things. We've started lots of local programs that have helped grow our sport. We've obviously seen things change from printed materials to digital. Podcasts are now a huge part of what we do. And yeah, it's exciting to see the changes. So.
I must ask you, you said podcasts are in. Have you done any other podcasts in the New England marketplace?
No, but Ski Utah has a podcast called Last Chair. So it's been very successful. And then I've done some personally, not in the New England area, but just throughout, not just the industry, but in other industries as well. But, we talked about podcasts, many years ago. And we were like, yeah, who's going to listen to a ski podcast? Do we really want to go down that road? And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we want to go down that road. And it's been super fun, as I'm sure you've found out that you meet very interesting people. You hear really exciting and inspirational stories. And yeah, it's been really fun to do podcasts.
That's awesome.
Just like you mentioned, how it's changed from print to digital. What has that been like for you to make those adjustments? And some of the program, and actually when I looked, I just quick breeze through your bio, your highlight for a career has to be carrying the torch, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I carry the torch in a lot of different ways. I actually carried the torch for the
I meant
2002 Olympic Winter Games.
Physically carrying it.
That was truly an experience. My husband nominated me, and I was selected to run it in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, which is 6 hours from Salt Lake City. And my children still joke about we had to drive 6 hours for Mom to run 0.2 of a mile, but it was one of the most amazing experiences I've had in my life. Yeah, I love that. So carrying that torch and then carrying the Utah torch around the world is, that's what I do, right?
That's amazing. Well, my son was actually in maybe kindergarten at the time, and he got to take one of the torches to his class because a friend of mine had one of the Utah torches. So it was pretty amazing to have it in hand, especially knowing that the world was in the U.S. for this, for the Winter Olympics that year. After 40 years of helping to put Utah on the world skiing map, you are 4 years into something different for the state of Utah. Can you tell us about that initiative that's going on?
Sure. I would even go so far as to say that it's a really unique program in the ski industry, not just here in Utah. But during COVID, we all had a lot of time to think. We were working from home, and then the George Floyd incident happened, and that just set everybody off with, what can we do to make our sport more inclusive? We'd been talking about it for years as an industry, and we really weren't doing that much to make our sport more inclusive. And so we got a little committee together and we talked about what can we do. And I love children's programs. We have one here at Ski Utah. Every state, I think, has them. Almost every resort has them. But we thought, what if we took a top-down approach and we taught adults, ethnically diverse adults, to ski or snowboard? Would they bring their friends and ultimately their children and other family members to the sport? So we designed a program whereby we would break down all the barriers. We would give participants everything they needed to stay warm: jackets, pants, goggles, neck gaiters, gloves, socks. And then we would give them transportation to the resorts. And the resorts would offer 4 lessons, 4 consecutive weeks of lessons. And at the end of the 4 lessons, the participant would get a Yeti pass, which is a pass that is good for one time at each of Utah's 15 ski areas. And then at the end of the season, we would get together for a big après ski party or ski day, and then an après ski party, and let them see how fun the industry is. And it has been incredible. Since 2022, which was the first year we started this, we've put over 850 adults through this program, and we've found that upwards of 87% of these individuals have continued to ski and snowboard and have introduced the sport to, what we were hoping, a family member or a friend. Our other goal of the program was to have a chapter of the National Brotherhood of Skiers here in the state of Utah, and that has happened. It's a club called Our Sundays, and they are amazing. They have traveled around to ski. They do not just ski and snowboard outings, they do ice skating and tubing, and they go on hikes in the summer. They do service projects. And so really building this sense of community amongst these individuals has been key to keeping the participants engaged with our sport. I just couldn't be happier with how this has gone. We have volunteers every year that help with the program. I mean, it has surpassed every expectation that I had for the program. People say, where do you see this program going in 10 years? Well, my hope would be that we wouldn't have this program in 10 years, that our sport would be inclusive and we wouldn't need to do this type of program. But it's been amazing. And if you talk to anybody who's volunteered, they would say the same thing.
How did you go about selecting, getting the people that were interested in joining in the first place? And then,
so,
like, you got it, word of mouth, you hope, is what keeps it going. And as you've pointed out, it has.
Yeah. The first year we worked with a group called Future Scholars of Africa, and we worked with a couple of universities with their diversity programs, and we worked with the Mountain Life Christian Church up in Park City. And we only had 125 participants the first year because we really didn't know how to go about doing this. We didn't want to advertise it per se. We just wanted to focus on these groups. And that was amazing. And after that first program, word got out. We did some PR, but also just word got out from the participants. And then Morgan Stanley came on as a sponsor, as well as the Larry H. and Gail Miller Family Foundation. And through their organizations, they brought people in because they were able to promote it through their channels. And then last year and this year, each year we've had over 600 people apply for the program. We've had to turn off the registration after a couple of weeks because it just, blew up our computer. 600 people were applying, and we could only take 300. So the word is out. Utah is also a kind of a haven for refugees and immigrants. And so while we might not be the most diverse state in the United States, we do have individuals who are coming from all different countries who in many cases have never seen snow or even thought about skiing or snowboarding. So introducing this sport to them has just been so exciting.
Is this one of those things like this is how you keep skiing going deeper into the 21st century? Because as opposed to kind of just essentially assuming that the family that skis now is going to continue to ski.
Again, by introducing the adults, we know that once we give them that Yeti pass and we get them more engaged with the sport, they're more likely to purchase a season pass the next year. And then as they have their families, or if they already have their families, they're going to bring them along. The other really exciting thing about this program is the participants, for the most part, like 90% of them, they are not economically disadvantaged like many other programs. They're professionals, doctors, attorneys, financial advisors. We have students studying for their PhD and master's degrees, and they are individuals who can financially afford to participate in our sport, because we know skiing and snowboarding is not a cheap endeavor. You have to make the revenue to be able to participate in the sport. So finding those individuals who can participate long term has been really interesting too.
How deep? Do you have numbers on like how many of those 850 have purchased season passes as opposed to just kind of piece together their season?
Well, that's what I was saying. When we do the surveys at the end of the season, about 80 to 87% of them said that they would purchase a season pass. Now for the most part, they're purchasing an Icon or an Epic pass, because in Utah, we have 6 Icon resorts here, and then we have Park City, which is the largest ski area in the US. So, yeah, we've been very pleased with the conversion of these individuals, and we hope to continue that. Now, some of them are students, so they're participating or taking advantage of the university student passes that some of the resorts offer.
Yep.
Well, that retention rate is outstanding. I can't say, we had big snow on out of the Meadowlands, and their retention rate is very strong, but it's not at that level, at 87%. But how did you get the resorts to bite in on this? I mean, most of these resorts, I know the smaller ones are always willing, but the bigger ones, they're looking at return on investments 90% of the time these days. How did you get them involved?
So we have 8 Utah resorts participating. We would have more if it were possible to get some of the buses and stuff to those resorts. But we talked with them and said, listen, we need to make our sport more inclusive. And this is how we believe we can do this. They're offering the lessons and the rentals to us for $35 per person. That's
awesome.
Insane, especially considering we don't even charge the participants to be in this program. We rely on the sponsors to pay that. But they know that it's important. The thing that was the hardest to get them to do was to make sure that these were on a Saturday or a Sunday, because those are the biggest days for them in their lessons. but they're doing afternoon lessons, which aren't as busy as the morning lessons. Then Brighton and Woodward do night lessons. So we really feel like we're offering the participants an opportunity to, even though they're working adults, to take advantage of the program. We're not saying you have to come up during the week and miss a day of work. You can come Saturday or Sunday or Monday night or Wednesday night. So we did not have any issues with resorts participating.
That's fantastic. What about you? You said you gave them jackets and everything, or clothing. What about the manufacturers? Are they open to this next level of commitment?
So we have not been able to get the manufacturers to donate the gear. However, we get it at a very reduced rate. So with the sponsorship money that we have, we're able to purchase those jackets and pants and goggles and gloves. Sure. But then giving that to the participants, I tell you, Mike and Keith, when these participants come to gear distribution and they try on the jackets and they try on the pants, and then they say, so how do we get this back to you after the sessions? And we say, oh no, this is for you to keep. I can't tell you how many people tear up and give me a hug. You say, really? We get to keep all of this stuff? It's like, yes, we want you to be comfortable in learning to ski and snowboard, and then we want you to continue and have the right gear. But I'm going to tell you one thing, and I hope you don't edit this out, because
nope.
If the ski industry is really serious about making our sport inclusive, the manufacturers of clothing and helmets and goggles need to think about body shapes and types, because current clothing is very difficult to fit different body shapes, and certain cultures and ethnicities have different shapes. Goggles don't fit on certain noses of certain individuals. Helmets, if you have, an afro or cornrows or something, helmets are very difficult to fit. I could be very specific and tell you things that the industry needs to know, but I'll save that for a panel or something at SIA. But we really need to think about that. How can we outfit these ethnically diverse cultures in our ski gear?
Sure. Well, you just brought up SIA. Ski Industries of America has changed dramatically from the days of David Ingram in DC, and it's now, of course, in Utah. What are they doing to help drive this program and programs like it? I'm sorry.
I would like to say they're doing a lot, but nothing at this point. I mean, I've talked with Nick. I need to get with him again and again, see if I can get on a panel or something. But I would love them to be more involved. I would love PSIA and Aussie to be more involved. And that brings me to something I have to tell you. At least 2 of our participants, and there could be more, and we'll ask this in the survey, but at least 2 of our Discover Winter participants have gone on to get their PSIA level 1 instruction, and they're teaching at Utah resorts now. So
that's outstanding.
Yeah, that's super exciting, right?
Well, it is. And you can tell Mr. Sargent, and you can put my name in on that board to help change what I think is missing in the industry and has been for a long, long time. But that's fantastic. I mean, how do you take such a well thought out process and program and start to parlay it to Ski Colorado, Ski New Hampshire, Ski California? Because you're doing it on your end, 300 minorities or participants a year is important, but we should grow this to 10,000. How do we do it?
Yeah. Well, I would love to do that. We're really fortunate here in Utah that our resorts work so closely with one another, and also that we are 30 minutes from a major metropolitan area to,
Sure.
8 ski resorts. So we have that advantage. But one thing that we did this year that was new to the program is we partnered with SOS Outreach, and we were able to invite the parents of those kids to join our program. So then we could help make that a skiing family. I don't have the research yet because we just started that program this year, but it will be interesting to see how many of those parents continue to ski. I talked with Wachusett yesterday, and mentioned, suggested, recommended that they work with their Yes program out of Boston to get the parents of those kids involved. And certainly SOS Outreach is in more states than just Utah, so that could be an opportunity. Park City Mountain does not participate in our Discover Winter program because they have lots of other programs going on. But we would love for them, because they do most of the SOS kids, we would love them to be part of this Discover Winter program. Vail has a big footprint, and if Vail and Altera could really get behind this program, I think we could take it more nationally. I will do whatever I can to bring this program to other states. I'm an open book. I don't keep this to myself or to Ski Utah. I'm happy to share anything and everything that we've done, and make this more, available and accessible to anyone who wants to know about it.
What is it? Is the important part just getting people on snow for the first time? Is that the biggest thing for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, if there's one title I would be most proud to have, that's a champion of growth. And I would love to get more people involved in the sport. I live 25 minutes from these ski areas. You can see a little bit of the mountain behind me. Our office is situated right at the mouth of Parley's Canyon. And there are so many people just even here in Utah who have not even been to a ski resort. So I want them to do that, whether it's summer or winter or fall or spring, because they're so beautiful. And I think you can find inner peace and whatever you're looking for in the mountains. And so, yeah, I just want more people to ski and snowboard. I don't care the color of their skin or whether they're mentally or physically challenged. I just want more people to experience what I've learned to come to love.
Sure. You've been around this industry as long as I have, which is a long time. And we've had this issue. We had this issue 40 years ago. That's why the Brotherhood of Skiers came together, and it grew, and it has grown. Are there other opportunities beyond what you're doing that you see to bring the minorities in?
I think what I said originally was, it's more than teaching them to ski or snowboard or introducing them to winter, is just creating a community of outdoor lovers. And once somebody loves the outdoors, then you can say, okay, you love it in the summer, how about the winter? Most diverse cultures aren't used to the cold and the snow, and so it's not something that they wake up one morning on a snowy morning and say, I think I'm going to go up to those mountains and learn to ski. You really have to have a community. You have to have a friend or a family member who says, hey, come do what I'm doing. It's so fun. You'll love it. And without that community, it's not going to happen. So, yeah.
Nope. Makes sense.
Are you concerned about, the idea of facing headway now with DEI initiatives, considering?
Yes. Yeah, I am for sure. The state-run universities here in Utah have banned, if you will, their DEI programs. So, that's concerning to us. I'm concerned that our sponsors are looking at, how do we get around DEI and still be inclusive? I'm worried that the federal government might shut down anything that's DEI. I would like to look at this program not as a DEI program, but just a program to get more people up on the mountains. So we might need to change our language a little bit, our text in some of our marketing materials. But yeah, I am concerned about that. I've always been a proponent of hire the best person for the job, regardless of the color of their skin. Get somebody skiing, regardless of the color of their skin.
Right.
But yeah, our industry, we need more color on the mountains. I'll just say that, both in our workforce and in our participants.
100%.
Their money counts the same as well. Last I checked, so the more people on the mountain.
In some cases, their money counts more, because I can tell you, when the National Brotherhood of Skiers comes to your mountain, they spend a lot of money, and their parties are the best. I have never had so much fun. They came to Utah in 1991, I believe, and they haven't been back since as a big summit. And that is one of my goals, is to get that Brotherhood of Skiers, their summit, back here in Utah, because I want to party with them. They are the best partiers.
I've done a lot with them in Boston, and I will agree with that sentiment. Well, let me ask you this, and we weren't necessarily going this way with this podcast, but how important with needing lifties, with needing hotels and everything else, how is Ski Utah dealing with immigration situations at this point?
Well, I don't get involved with that. Nathan does,
right.
The president of Ski Utah. He works with the resorts on that. But certainly when those J-1 visas were canceled a few years ago, that really hurt our ski areas. Immigration, I mean, we have a big Hispanic population here in Utah, and people are concerned about ICE and about, will anybody be deported, and will that hurt our workforce? But I can't speak specifically, because I'm just not engaged with that as much as others are.
No,
I appreciate the question.
No, yeah, the question is, as a skiing community, we need all of us to make it work these days. The days of a ski bum going up and being a lift op is pretty much gone, because the cost of living has gone through the roof in the mountain towns. So, but I must ask, how is Sundance out there? The festival?
Well, we didn't have a lot of snow during Sundance, so that helped. People could get around more easily, but it's always a fun time. Although I'll tell you, to be real honest and transparent, if I were to see like a celebrity, I probably wouldn't even recognize them. So while it's fun to go up and kind of hobnob with everybody that's in Park City, I'm really not a stargazer. So I don't know that regard, but the parties are fun. The city is vibrant. It's a great time to ski, because everybody's in the movies. We're just keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that it continues after, I think next year is the potential last year in Park City. We're up against Park City, Boulder, and Cincinnati, I think, are the three cities that Sundance is considering. So we're doing whatever we
can. I can tell you, Cincinnati.
Come on.
Yeah, who wants to go to Cincinnati in January, right?
I mean,
exactly.
Well, Boulder's a tough one, but Park City, I mean...
Park City, the lifts are right there.
Come on. Sundance...
And the airport is so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's super simple. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Park City for you.
Well, good. If you get a vote, make sure you vote for it.
You have the Olympics coming back in 9 years now.
20, yeah.
How exciting is that?
It's super exciting. I mean,
this is your second go around. So what lessons do you take from the first time?
Well, you have to remember that our games in 2002, it was the first international event after 9/11. So we learned a lot in those 4 months or 5 months between 9/11 and the opening ceremonies, and the security, everything that we had to do in those 5 months was crazy. And I really think back on that, and how did we pull that off? But thinking about all of our venues are in place, maybe a little upgrade here and there. Certainly, we are upping our game as far as education. How do we involve the whole state? My goal with the Olympics coming to Utah, and I've mentioned this to NSAA and to others on NSAA's growth committee, is I would love the U.S. to embrace these games and not just make them about Utah and Salt Lake City and Park City, but say, the Winter Games are coming back to our country. How can we as an industry take advantage of that? I know when Beijing had them, their goal was to create 20 million new skiers before their games. Well, I would love us to say, we want 10 million new skiers before 2034 or whatever that number is, but let's embrace them as America's games and not just Salt Lake or Utah's games, but they're coming back to America. I mean, that's exciting. They're coming back to our country. And let's not just let's not just expect Utah to do things, but let's all embrace it and let's all take advantage of that and get more skiers and snowboarders and more sliders on snow, lugers, bobsledders, ice skaters. I don't care. More winter sports enthusiasts.
You know what? You've got my vote to take over U.S. ski initiatives, whether it be, I'm going to say this, you've got my vote to take over SIA and bring us all back together.
Well, I appreciate that, but you know what? I'm happy here and I love what I'm doing. So
I understand, but I want Learn to Ski January back. I want the initiatives that you're doing with Discover Utah to go nationwide. I want the manufacturers to not charge, but be partners and put up money so that you can buy it through them. I'm about all of that because guess what? We need to stop worrying about just our piece of the pie. We've got to grow the whole pie when it comes to skiing.
That's for sure. Yep. Well, you know what, Mike? Podcasts like this can help move those initiatives forward. So let's get this podcast out to everybody. Let's let them help move this forward, because you know what? One person can't do it. One person can lead the charge, but it takes a village, right? Takes an industry, not just one person.
I agree wholeheartedly. Raelene, this was fantastic. First off, thanks for, it was great to catch up out in Salt Lake a week ago. And we want to thank you for coming on and telling us about what was happening with Discover Utah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Keep driving the, getting more people out on the mountain. And that's how you create the service help. It's how you create, that bring that culture back into the mountain.
That's what it's about. And also, thank you for mentioning YES here in Boston. It's very, very important to me. So, great.
Well, it's important to all of us. So, yeah.
So, well, thank you so very much. We're doing the snow dance out here for you, and we will see you next time we're out there.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Likewise.
Okay. Thanks.
Keith, there are programs that have come and gone. I brought up January used to be Learn to Ski Month.
Correct.
Okay. It's not there, even though some resorts are still doing it.
Yeah, they try.
They try, but you mentioned Steve Wright. Steve made the comment that we all need to start working as a unit. I look at what Ski Utah is doing right now. Fantastic. No two ways about it. They're doing it. They're walking the walk.
Right.
Okay. but the rest of the nation is not walking that walk, to the best of my knowledge.
Right, and it's someone has to be the leader, and so far Raelene's Ski Utah group has been that leader. Hopefully now you see them branch out. You mentioned, she mentioned speaking to Wachusett, among other places.
Yep.
Perfect kind of place to do it. Ski Utah uses the bus to get out there. You can take the train from North Station out to Wachusett, and they have a shuttle that'll pick you up. So the possibility, you see a possibility of being able to create something. It certainly has to work for everybody involved, but it opens the door to creating a new skier and a new group of skiers.
Well, I think the first thing, we're in a world today that people want instant reward. Guess what? This is not instant reward. This is long-term strategic reward.
Yep.
Okay? First off, it's good for the new skier. They're getting a lifelong possibility of an activity.
Yep.
Okay? But it's also good for any of the resorts long term, because if a Blue Hills, for example, grabs somebody from Boston on a special deal and they become a lifelong skier, they live near there, they could be at Blue Hills once a week, or Bradford,
Yep.
or Southington in Connecticut, and I could go on and on. It doesn't have to be just going up to Stowe.
Yep.
But they're going to go there sooner or later. Stowe's going to benefit. It is about time that the industry gets their act together. And I'm saying that straightforward.
And that also goes down, that not just the industry, but those who are investing in the industry on the sidelines. Let's not try and bleed every drop of blood from the stone right away. You want this to be an investment. Not every investment can be the massive return in 2 quarters. It might be 10 years. It might be 20 years.
Guess what? Unless the baby boomers are aging out, the demographics in this country have changed. Okay? And the bottom line is, we need every winter sport enthusiast, we need to grow them, but we need everyone to participate so that we don't lose more ski areas, so that we have the viability in an affordable way for all of us. And the same thing with manufacturers. I'll challenge any manufacturer, any CEO. You're selling your product off at pennies on the dollar to discount retailers because it's left over. Why not allow it to go to programs like this instead? Take the write-off.
Absolutely. And along those lines, is that jacket really $600?
Don't go there. I wear some expensive gear.
I get that, but does it all need to be at that number?
No, it does not. But I thought Raelene also made a comment about the manufacturers. They have to realize that not everybody fits like an American. So if you ever, most Americans don't fit well into European brands because they're very, they're cut European. But at the same time, goggles, Smith, Giro, they all have Asian fit goggles, Asian fit helmets, and traditional fit, ladies fit, men's fit. But, we need to start growing this so that everybody has the ability to get product that fits them, have the ability to ski or learn to ski through programs. And what Ski Utah is doing, $35 for rentals and lessons, congratulations to Ski Utah and the resorts that are participating, because that is amazing. You're moving the needle in the right direction.
And those resorts that are participating are the first to benefit.
They are.
Absolutely, because, you know, if you learn to ski at one place, chances are you're going to go back there because that's where you figured it out. You know, not everyone learns to ski, 5-6 hours away from home. So I'm going to step out of that for a minute because of where I learned. But, chances are the Blue Hills of the world, the Wachusetts, the Pat's Peaks, within close range of major metropolitan areas.
And they are all really good skiing with really good experiences. And when you see Learn to Ski, I pull up webcams when I'm at home. They're all on my computer. But look at the beginner area at Wachusett. It is packed. I mean, it is just packed. And is it someplace I want to ski on that trail with everybody? No. But it makes me really, really happy that they are moving the needle by getting new people out there.
You don't worry about Wachusett closing in the next 10 years. Because they're bringing new people in as much as...
They're being progressive.
Right. They're out in front of it.
But I challenge Ski Industries of America to take Ski Utah's program and take it nationally.
Absolutely.
Okay? We need it. We need it now. And we need that national organization to help push it. So, but that's going to be it for this episode of the Basecamp podcast. Anything else today?
I think we're good. You good?
I'm good. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful vacation week coming up, and get out there and make some turns. The snow is outstanding. Till next time.
New England Ski Journal's Basecamp is a Siemens Media podcast. Siemens Media. Inspiring, informative, insightful.